if you look in our political history, the Awolowos,
they started while they were young.
The Tafawa Balewas, late Fumi Kuti. These guys were in their
current president.
They were in their 20s. They were in their 30s. Were they the future when they were demanding for independence? When they were staging coups? When they were having civil wars?
Express every thought, every motive, every opinion. It all matters here. Expression is not a pattern of the weak. It is strength at its peak. So speak up.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of the Freedom Mic, a space for fearless conversations about freedom, justice, and the power of expression. I remain your host, Funke Adeoye, and with me today is a Nigerian development expert, the project director for the Nigerian Youth Future Fund at Leap Africa, and an advocate for youth leadership and inclusive governance, Dr. Elisabeth Agbiti Douglas. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you with us today. So I'm going to just go right into it. I want to have a sense of your patriotism. Yes. So can you give us a sense of how many states you've been to in Nigeria?
I was saying before, I think it's easier for me to say the number of states I haven't been to.
Okay.
So there's 7 I haven't been to. So that means I've been to, 30 or 29 states. I mean, I've been in FCT, so I mean, we can't count that. So 29, I will say 29 states.
Wow, that's a record actually. That's a huge record. So can you name 4 states that begin with letter A and 3 states that begin with letter O?
Okay, I mean, that's easy. Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra start with A. And then how many states that start with O?
3.
Ondo, Ogun, or your states.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the next question is, what are 2 unpopular opinions you have about life? 2 unpopular opinions you have about life?
I think, so I think a lot of us think we know, and again, it's common human behavior. We think our own way that we choose to do things is the absolute right way. And a lot of damage, we do a lot of damage on a daily basis by just showing up, and trying to impose, a lot of the problems we have in Nigeria, I'll say this for free, would be resolved if we all just learn to be very tolerant. Right? And I say this specifically, particularly to those of us that are religious, and then it also touches on culture. In my place, this is how we do things, and my people are the ones that know everything. Everybody else is an idiot. So you relate with other people and you want to impose on them your own worldview, your frame, which, by the way, you learnt. They thought if you'd been born in a different family, you would not be the same person. You wouldn't necessarily hold the same values. And so a lot of us need to, it's unpopular because you're asking people to step away from the things that they think make them who they are. But if you are willing to do that, there's like 90% of the problems we have would be resolved.
That's interesting. So, do you have any other unpopular opinions?
I'll probably get shot for this. So again, this one is going to be very
unpopular.
Very, very. No, it depends on the side you fall on.
Okay.
Men and women are different, but at the end of the day, beyond biological differences, men cannot get pregnant. Women cannot give person belle. Beyond those things, there fundamentally really isn't anything that a man can do that a woman cannot do, or that a woman can do and that a man cannot do. Men can cook, they can be nurturing, women can earn money, that one we see it happen. Women can lead, they can make decisions, and so a lot of the differences and the quarrels and the fights we have around gender come down to what we've been raised to believe. But if you just leave human beings and you don't set limits and say, oh, you're a man, you cannot do this. You are a woman, you cannot do this. On average, you will find that there's very little difference in what individuals can bring to the table.
Okay, I get what you said. You could be short for this.
Yes, I could, because a lot of people tie these things to. They'll tell you the Bible said, the Holy Book said, but in the same Holy Books, you will see male and female created He them. You won't find that the Almighty discriminates. It's human beings that bring those discriminations and set those rules.
And
like
the differences.
I said, yes, yes.
Thank you for that. I think we'll just go right into questions for today. You do an amazing work leading a fund that caters to young people.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, the NYFF fund. It has been a major force in nurturing youth participation in governance and civic life. From your vantage point, do you see a lot of young Nigerians stepping up to using their voices today? And what gives you hope about this generation?
That's a great question. Without mincing words, I'll say yes. Then again, maybe it's by virtue of the seat I occupy. On a daily basis, what the team gets to see are young Nigerians who are passionate, not just passionate, but who are actually redefining leadership, right? And doing a lot of amazing work in Nigeria, from local level, community level, all the way up to national level. They are using their voices not just to protest, right? Because that's one form of activism, one way of demanding for social change. But there are young people who are actually involved in co-designing, coming up with solutions, whether it's starting businesses, whether it's through philanthropy, whether it's using digital technology or innovating, to find solutions and demand accountability, right? So we see that every day. That's not even up for debate. What gives me particular hope is that they are refusing to be sidelined, right? So there's a lot of pushback. There's the norms. Again, remember that point I made about how a lot of the ideas we've learned gets in the way. There are ideas that young people are disruptive, they're troublemakers, they lack experience.
Especially this Gen Z, they get a lot of backlash.
Gen Z get a lot of flack, right? But again, I sit down, I'm a millennial, and I sit down and I go, but when I was this guy's age, maybe I even did more than what they're even doing. We forget that. But what I really like about this generation is that these ones, they are not unlike us that you could get us to cower. These ones you push them, they'll get set back a bit, they'll regroup, and then they bounce back. And they'll find new ways, they'll keep coming at you, and coming at the problems. They will not be denied. And I think we need that. Nigeria, what we really need if we're going to be able to get the society we want is we need individuals. And maybe this our Gen Zs, our Gen Alphas might be the ones to do that for us.
Wow. So I'm just curious to know how you, through your organization, have been able to navigate the tension between freedom and fear.
That's a very interesting question. So NYFF's role in all of this is an enabler, a strengthener of the youth leadership ecosystem. So our job is not to go and tell young people what to think. It's not to set the agenda for them. What we do is we provide resources, we provide training, we provide linkages, and our young people are the ones who say, this is the community. My community, this is how I want it to be. My Nigeria, this is how I want it to be. And they are the ones who actually are in the driver's seat. So NYFF's role is that of an enabler, of a supporter.
You empower.
An advocate, yes. We are not, our young people are capable, right? We're just helping them have the resources and the tools to do what they need to do.
So in your experience, what does true democratic resilience look like, especially in a country like ours, where, as you rightly said, young people face a lot of pushback? and then, you know, the civic space sometimes contracts under political pressure. So what would you say true democratic resilience looks like?
Democratic resilience looks like showing up, not giving up, even when there are setbacks. You know, I mean, that's what resilience is. You will have challenges thrown at you. Sometimes you'll fail, sometimes you'll make mistakes. But what you do is you feel the disappointment, you feel the sadness. What you don't do is let it break you and stop you. You go back, you regroup, you learn your lessons, you know, you re-strategize, and then you come back. You allow those experiences make you stronger, not weaker. And when we talk about democratic resilience, it's not just about the election. So those are the big moments, right? We register, we go to the polls. It's about the day-to-day of governance. The tax policy has been passed. We try to, you know, do the remembrance of 2020. You know, we have various groups coming up. Or, you know, you see something in your community and you want to call it out, and you want to demand accountability, or you see opportunities. Because again, people always think it's about, you know, quarreling with government. Sometimes there are opportunities, and, you know, you even in a system that may not be the most encouraging, as a citizen, an active citizen, you know, take the lessons learned from setbacks, other people's setbacks, and you use it to, you know, try and demand for accountability and good governance. So that's what it's that grit, that thing that keeps saying setbacks don't mean the end of the journey. What they are opportunities to learn and to do this better when I come at it next time.
And I'm just curious to know, I mean, one of the things that this podcast or this show does is to bring together different groups of people: lawyers, professionals, journalists, activists, even the government as well. How important would you say cross-sector collaboration between government, philanthropy groups, civil society is in protecting civic freedoms and especially empowering young people's voices?
I would say it's everything. It's essential. There's a proverb that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you want to go the distance, you go together. So, I mean, the truth of it is the challenges in any democratic system, before you talk about a system like ours, are way too complex for any one side, you know, to take on alone. I mean, that was one thing about the president's speech on Democracy Day that I really, really applauded. That call for all hands to be on deck. Government alone can't do everything.
True.
They may have the highest concentration of power and resources, but they can't do everything. So when you have journalists, you know, do their job of telling stories, even when it's difficult to, and we must admit that, oddly enough, on the freedom of the Reporters' Freedom Index, there's a global index. Nigeria is one of the countries that ranks the poorest, you know. So being a journalist here is actually, you know, a life and death sport. Philanthropists who bring out their resources and bring money and are willing to support causes. They are not investing, or at least if it's an investment where the returns are improved governance, you know, a better, more wholesome society. When our lawyers, those who are the legal experts, stand and make sure that you know, citizens get their rights are protected by law. All these actors are coming together, right, to protect the civic space, to define it, you know, and to make sure that it is safe for everybody and it is what it should be. So yes, collaboration is absolutely essential. Without it, everything falls apart.
So if you could design a more freer civic space, what is one reform you would start with? It could be a policy, it could be anything, but what, based on your work with young people, if you want to design a civic space that is freer, especially for young people, what is the one reform you would start with? So,
you know, it's interesting you say that. For me, it's not even necessarily starting, but strengthening and improving the way it's done. Freedom of information. Being able to, you know, access. So there's already the FOI Act. FOI has been, you know, they've celebrated more than a decade of it this year. So it's been running for a while. But one of the things that is still a challenge, one of our partners here in FCT told me they went to meet one of the councils. I'm not going to name names. We're not trying to name and shame, but they went to meet them and they wanted to request, young people wanted to request information on the budget. And they called the security forces for them and said, oh, you guys what do you want we're talking of in post-COVID.
Wow.
Right? So for me, enshrining that mindset of every citizen, young people, again, I tell people this, our population, certainly for Nigeria, there are populations where the elders are more. But in Africa, for us in Nigeria, 70% of us are aged under 40.
Yes.
60% of us are aged under 30. Majority of the people who are going to be active and will be showing up when it comes to governance are young people, our Gen Zers, late millennials, right? And if there are laws that say you can access information and you cannot access the information without worried about being arrested, before we start talking about protests, there's a problem, right? So for me, if we can really strengthen access to public information, we're talking of cases where people will even write. The law actually requires that our MDAs are proactive. So the budget office does really well on this. The reason your budgets can track, we're able to track federal expenditure, or rather plans for spending, is because budget, since the time of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as our finance minister, has been providing that information. So that's there. That imagine if across all, not just at federal level,
state level,
state
local
governments
council,
have been told, the Supreme Court has told our state and local governments that FOI also applies to them. Imagine if everybody, you as a citizen, as a journalist, whoever you are, you can get that information, and they are making it available. Not that you need to, know somebody or you need to go to court first. It changes the game. So that's one major thing, the strengthening of the FOI, so that we become a society where information about what government is doing is something that is readily available for everybody. It would change things. Our citizens would understand better, and then because those in government know that people are going to look, are going to ask questions, that will also improve the supply side of governance. Before you even start talking about protest, in fact, you are less likely to even see people demonstrating, because a lot of times people feel they need to take to the streets because they can't walk into your office, they can't send you an email, they can't call you and get taken seriously or get a response. So they feel oftentimes that they need to take to the streets, they need to protest, so that an issue is taken seriously, and then there's the opportunity to go back to the table. Why not, if we can make information freely available, we're more likely to see instances where people feel they need to take to the street because they can engage you.
There's more transparency.
There's more transparency. There's more openness. There's a culture of accountability. All these things that translate into open governance, right? You have more of that. So you will have a civic space. In fact, you will have a better relationship between government
and citizens
and its citizens as a result.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been such an insightful conversation, and I really appreciate the work that you do, especially considering what you said about how young people are actually the future of Nigeria. And it's interesting because
I like correcting people on that. They are not the future. You can't be referring to 70% of your population as the future. Majority of these guys are already young adults. If you look in our political history, the Awolowos,
they started while they were young.
The Tafawa Balewas, late Fumi Kuti. These guys were in their
current president.
They were in their 20s. They were in their 30s. Were they the future when they were demanding for independence, when they were staging coups, when they were having civil wars? When our 65 years of history has been driven by young people. So when that's how they told us we were the leaders
I
of
don't
tomorrow.
agree on, so I said they are the future.
And we're still
no, we are not the leaders of tomorrow.
It can be debated, but again, I think that's part of the problems, because if you are saying of tomorrow, what that means then is part of the justification for you guys are doing too much. You are asking for too much. Hold on. Whereas if we respect and understand that these are adults, if they have the right to vote, then they equally have the right to ask questions, right? And leadership is not about holding titles. It's about seeing something, having a vision, and saying, okay, I want to drive it. I want to get others to drive it. If we understand that that's what leadership is, then why do our young people need to wait until they're in their 40s and their 50s? Why not respect that they are leaders now?
Yeah. I mean, we're totally on the same page of that. I don't agree that they are the leaders of tomorrow, but when I say they are the future, I'm looking at the sense of the fact that the people who are there currently will leave.
In 20 to 30 years time, a lot of the people who are alive now are not going to be around anymore. So you're right.
Yes, but I mean, the work that you do is amazing. Thank you for empowering a lot of young people. I want to believe that there are so many young people who have been able to find their voice and use their voice today because of the amazing work that you do. So on behalf of our partners, the Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development, and of course, Hope Behind Bars Africa, we have this token for you. It's interesting talking about using your voices, that this was made by incarcerated individuals, actually women in prison. And it just shows us the power of what we could do if we think differently. So thank you so much for coming
to
our show, and we hope to engage further. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow. It's been such an interesting conversation with my guest today, Dr. Elisabeth Agbiti Douglas. And you've heard from her. We all need to step up in terms of understanding our role as active citizens and as young people, using our voices to demand accountability from the government. And of course, on the side of the government as well, we need to see this as a collective pursuit of national growth. Dear viewers, this is the Freedom Mic, a space for conversations about freedom, justice, and the power of expression. Brought to you by Hope Behind Bars Africa and CJID, with the support of the National Endowment for Democracy. Don't forget to follow our social media handles and follow and like our YouTube channel. Once again, I remain your host, Funke Adeoye. Until next time, stay informed, stay brave, and keep your voice alive.
I tried to speak. Now I open my mouth, but only muffled words come out because the society wears me a face mask. And somehow I did hope that it would mask my discomfort too and come forth in two, portraying dual resilience to my caged words and thoughts. How do I communicate when alphabets are forbidden in this continent? It's a taboo. You dare not say a word. Keep shut. If you don't want your life to be cut short through bullet shots or doors locked shut, bridle your tongue. Saddle yourself with the responsibility of holding your words. Bustle it in, you're not the only one. Just find a way to cope, there's no ray of hope. Everyone has something to say, but rather than staying at bay, just keep mute. They say refuse to blow the flute of perspectives and narratives, outrightly giving room for legal thieves. After all, they can't be rebuked. No one speaks. For how long will this remain? How long will we rest in the bosom of pain? Is this our lot? We have a lot to say. Why should we cower in fear, silently wiping every tear with tears on our coats, gulping lies coated in glitters, one which litters our intellectual environment? Enough! Enough of holding back, making situations a hard nut to crack. Enough of hoarding knowledge in a bid to stay safe. That's pretty ironic. We are endangered daily when we refuse to make use of our freedom of speech. If our right to speech is redundant, then we have nothing left of the words our heroes cleft onto. You see, it all starts with a worldview expressed through your word view. Your words express the depth of your wholesome mind, desires you find far-fetched. Look no further. It's all within arm's length. If you just speak up. To the timid boy in Jigawa who wants to make history like Tafawa Balewa. To the zealous soul in Oyo who wants to lead positive change like Obafemi Awolowo. To the quiet girl in Umuahia who wants to change narratives like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. It all starts with your speech. This wide reach you envision, exterminating division intermediately, wholly and fully. It all starts with your speech. So feel free to yarn, free to express yourself in words you deem fit and nothing fit to deem your light. You see, your mouth is a collection of knowledge, sharp as two-edged sword, cutting into situations and speaking your opinion. Yes, your speech flows over issues like the waves in a beach. You teach and educate the masses, so speak. Here, your opinions matter. Your thoughts shouldn't be whispered under your breath. Your breath of wisdom is needed here, so speak. Express every thought, every motive, every opinion. It all matters here. Expression is not a pattern of the weak. It is strength at its peak. So speak up.